Hello, this is Hervé from Comic Book Bin, filling you in since 2002. This is Sergeant Slaughter, a classic G.I. Joe character based on the wrestling superstar who calls himself Sergeant Slaughter. He's a bit much older right now, but this is his figure, just like it was in 1986, a popular action figure, which was also made into a Valaverse Action Force action figure just before. Let's look at Sergeant Slaughter in more detail. So Sergeant Slaughter is one of the few G.I. Joe action figures to come with multiple hands. So he has a series of fists, two pairs of grappling hands for when he catches those cobra bats, and pointing fingers when it points at something. The good thing with these hands is that they seem to be compatible in size with other G.I. Joe action figures. So you may want to use them with other figures if you want, provided that the skin tone fits. He also comes with this nifty action figure of himself, which I have not opened yet. Yeah, I know, it doesn't matter if I open it or not. No one's going to see, no one's going to notice. I think I'll leave it this way. So, to put it very close, yeah, a tiny Sergeant Slaughter. Action figure. So, Sergeant Slaughter. He comes with something that looks like an AK-47, but it's not. It is the same weapon that comes with the Cobra officers, with a stick, a whistle, and you can remove his hat. And also remove his glasses, which reveal his mug. That's the sergeant for you. These glasses look sharp on him, so I'll keep them. And obviously, the sergeant does not go anywhere without his hat, nor his whistle. Now, part of this figure seems to be reusing Roadblock or Gung Ho, which was also reused for Bazooka. The torso seems to be the Stalker Heavy Artillery body. The arms seems to also be from Stalker, but the boots seems to be original to me. I'm not sure exactly. I couldn't tell at this point. And his AK-47 does come with the same kind of scope that the Cobra officers come with. It's not a scope, it's more like an infrared type of light. So this is the sergeant for you at this point. What can you do with the sergeant? Well, his head moves well. A little bit of attitude. You can look up. Can look down. The joint at the neck is separate, although mine seems to be stuck a bit. He can do a 90-degree raise, swivel at the biceps, a butterfly joint, ab crunch, double articulation at the elbows, which is quite good. You'll notice that the watch is sculpting, or whatever that is. It's sculpting, side to side bent on this arm. And for this one too, also side to side. Waist Swivel seems to be stuck on mine, although he can still do the ball joint hula hoop. Drop down leg. Oof. Don't want to push too low for that one. Swivel the thighs. Double articulation at the knees. So I suppose this is not the roadblock, because I'm noticing that there is no pins on this, so it must be a new sculpt, because roadblock, being one of the first, would have had pins in his knees. Swivel the shins. And obviously ankle articulation, very loose on this figure. It's a good quality figure, I like it. I don't know if Hasbro will be able to do more Sergeant Slaughter in anytime soon. This figure was more expensive than the other Joe figures, but Sergeant Slaughter being a real person, there's rights involved. And it's still for sale almost anywhere. You can buy this everywhere. I bought mine from GameStop when it was released. It was at the store, so it wasn't even a problem to find it. It was $50 Canadian though. What else can I say about Sergeant Slaughter? This is a sculpt. It's a beautiful figure. Let's compare him to a few people about his size. This is Sergeant Slaughter next to a Cobra officer. This is Sergeant Slaughter next to Crimson Guard. So he's not the shortest, that's for sure. He's one of the tallest G.I. Joe figures around. I believe he might be a bit taller than Roadblock. Now this is Sergeant Slaughter next to Serpentor. Serpentor obviously towers over him. So this is your Sergeant, a classic G.I. Joe action figure based on a real person. I wasn't a fan of him as a kid, but as a person, when you see him in interviews and so on and interacting with fans, the Sergeant is a great dude, great person to be around. So I've got this figure. I wasn't planning on getting it, but I found it at GameStop, so I just bought it on the spot. One minor detail I will say is the paint here, the shoulders, the armpits, doesn't look very good. So the paint coat could have been better here. You can still see the underlying black paint underneath. That's my only criticism about this figure, and the fact that it tends to fall easily, but it's still a good figure. So like and subscribe. This is LV from Comic Book Bin, filling you in since 2002.